going on, guys? Welcome back to another Game Time Discussions. Got a live stream tonight. We're gonna
Yeah.
kill some best ball. Get in the chat. Kind of talk us up. Tell me who's here. We're happy that y'all came to hang out with us tonight. We're gonna do a first of all, we're gonna start with a $3 on DraftKings, and we'll tell y'all that to get in there with us. Obviously, we'll start that in a couple minutes when a few more people get in here. But really excited. That $3 contest is about halfway full, so hopefully we'll get another $3 soon because we're gonna run out of entries
hmm
pretty soon here. We might have
Yeah.
to do some bigger entries today.
Yeah. It's probably going to take another 3 or so weeks for at least DraftKings to have any new ones. And then Underdog, they do it pretty consistently. But right now, they just ended over the weekend a bunch of small money contests. So really, the cheapest regular is $25. So we'll probably stay on DraftKings tonight, do a $3 or $20, and get out of here. But yeah, it'll be a little fun right before July 4th weekend.
Yeah, so if you're in the chat, say what's up. And if you want to draft with us, we're gonna start here in a second. I'm gonna share the screen so we can actually see what we're doing. Okay. Yeah, so this is the contest. If you're wondering, it's that $3 contest. And we'll get going here in a second. But yeah, get in the chat. I see four watching at the moment. And I'd love to see who's here with us. Not a lot has happened because we haven't been anywhere near training camp yet. A lot is in flux. We're watching these guys go up and down. We were talking before the show. We've seen a lot of quarterbacks falling on underdog, which is a little weird. Some guys that are going in different directions. Josh Jacobs is moving up on DraftKings, moving down on underdog. So hopefully, you get him at the discount on underdog right now. But yeah, not much has changed. Rankings are pretty much the same. There's some like 120ers, that are moving up and down. I see Kamani's finally getting the love he deserves. He's basically now at the tail end of the 13th round, early 14th. So finally getting that love he deserves. We're just going to keep clicking his name. Don't y'all worry about that. But yeah, so I'm going to hit the button. And if you want to get in with us, we will see how many people we've got. Let's see. We got 10 entrants. So if you want to get in with us, you better hurry up. Don't miss out. Of course, we'll do this again, but we might not be doing a $3 this next one. So let's see. I saw that I sent you that text message earlier of the New England Patriots defensive end. Why can't I think of his name? Matthew Judon. He sent the meme of him possibly leaving New England, and we have some New England fans. I'm sure they're not going to be very happy about that. One of their best defensive players getting out of there. But at the same time, I kind of understand why. He's a little bit older, and he doesn't really expect to win very many games in New England. So getting out of there might be the best thing for him.
Yeah, I mean, other than I guess Christian Gonzalez, but he's coming off of basically missing the majority of the season.
And he was a rookie.
So I don't really know what trade value he would have. They're not going to trade him, but
Right.
other than him, Matt Judon is probably they can get the most out of.
Right.
I don't even know if they can get a first out of him, but
yeah,
I mean,
and they re-signed Josh Uche during the offseason, so they can't. Yeah. He was one of their better players, one of the higher trade values.
They've been re-signing some very interesting guys this year. That it's just like had one of the worst rosters all year, and now you're extending Jelani Tavi for 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I mean,
yeah, that's. I mean, if they can get the. See, one thing about them is they've done a really good job not having to pay their defense a ton of money.
Right.
And they've been able to win. Does that continue without Bill Belichick? We'll see. But they do a really good job on defense, and we'll see if they can, basically take the cheap route and win games that way. I just don't know, but they do need to help more probably on offense and helping, their young quarterback get some options,
It's just never good when you're paying, good or average players really good money.
Right, for sure.
And I just feel like, there was a couple of guys that we were like, they needed to um, re-sign, re-up.
Hmm.
But essentially everybody they brought back, and I just didn't feel like they were in a situation that they needed to do that. They had the most cap space after all the moves that they made. Washington brought in basically a brand new
Yeah,
roster,
whole new roster.
and New England's just kind of running it back with
Yeah.
Jacoby Brissett.
Yep.
So there's a reason that they're the lowest win total right now, and I don't expect that to change with the rest of the moves that they make, especially if they move Matt Judon, who we'll see. I don't even know if they
Right.
can get a 1 for, but day 2 pick might as well. If you're
Hmm.
gonna, he's not really gonna change your win total at all
Right, for
based
sure.
on this roster.
So getting to the draft, first pick, Christian McCaffrey. Um, that's basically every time. It's pretty much an auto pick for most people. We're just not doing that. Tyreek Hill goes second, so that means CeeDee Lamb's going to fall to somebody. We'll see if it's Happel here.
Yeah. So before we even started this stream, you had the idea of like, hey, we should do a robust strategy,
Yeah,
and
not
I
here.
was like, I was like, I don't mind it as long as it's in the middle or at the very end.
Right.
Right now, unless something crazy happens, I would not be opposed to doing that over what I expect to be Justin Jefferson.
Okay.
Um, Happel looks like he auto drafted CD, and I'm assuming Jamar is going to go in one of these next two, and then the other guy will be Amon Ra. If Amon Ra
Or
is on the
Jamar
board,
fall. I think we should take them.
yes. But I just didn't expect them to. And if they don't, then going Brees or Bijan or Bijan or Bijan, I'd be more than fine with doing the robust strategy that you were
Of
hoping
course.
for.
That'd be really fun. Let's see what this guy here does. He might auto draft also. I don't know where anybody's at. They're asleep. Oh no. That well, I think Amon Ra is probably the answer here. I don't think we should let him fall.
It's up to you.
I'm way more comfortable with Amon Ra than I am Justin Jefferson right now. The 14 games in the dome, just being the top pass catcher on one of the highest points total offenses for the year, most likely, makes me feel a little bit more comfortable with him than I do with, trying to get a running back here. I like the floor. I like the ceiling. So,
Yeah. I mean, it's just kind of hard to go against that. I mean, he's going to be one of the leading target getters in the
oh,
entire league. So,
well, I wish we were 9.
yeah,
Now I
that
wish
would have been nice.
now I wish we were 9
Or 8.
or 8. Yeah, both of those were going to be cool, pretty cool options when you see Puka Nakua jump both of the running backs.
I'm actually surprised that we haven't seen more of that, at least on DraftKings, where Puka or AJ Brown are jumping at least
PPR.
one of the running backs. Usually, it's just kind of a standard Christian McCaffrey, all 4 of the next tier of receivers, or 5 really, go in any which order, and then 2 running backs, and then it's Puka, Brown, and Wilson. You don't really see somebody jumping before, but that's not really a bad strategy in my opinion. Like I said, it's a lot easier to construct a roster going receiver first, and then on the turnaround going running back, or just doubling up on receiver, especially with all the options we have. I
Right.
mean, Jalen Waddle is like the highest riser right now, and he's all the way up to 21, which is where his ADP was last year. He was wide receiver 34. He played most of the season. Like, he got banged up at the end, but
Right.
that didn't
Yeah.
really affect his overall season. And you know, it's hard to put confidence in that, but it's even going earlier than, like, I get why they're doing it, because they want to get a double out the gate with Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. But with this Brockway guy,
Wow.
I don't
Holy
even know if
hell.
he will.
I mean, we've already got one guy on auto draft, and then if you look right now, I'm not really comfortable going double Detroit, but that's a possibility. We might have to get into that, because if you look at number 12 there, JT and Devonte Adams going at that point, Derrick Henry going before
That's
us. I mean,
insane.
oh, Jameer Gibbs almost fell to us. That would have
That
been
would have been
crazy.
crazy start.
Okay, so here we are looking at this. What are you thinking?
I don't know what to think. I mean, we've been getting enough of Nico recently in these drafts. Haven't
Right.
really touched Olave. HN, I don't really have any shares of. I'm not opposed.
Let's do that.
Or Waddle, if you want it as a wide receiver too.
Yeah, let's do some HN. We haven't done that because we think he's a little high. We'll just have to take some safer running backs
Yeah,
later on.
So usually in this range, if you're going back in the first 3 rounds, you either want to go hero or you're going robust, like we mentioned earlier, where 3 or 4 of your first 5 or so picks are running back. Achan is the only guy of this tier that I would consider I wouldn't go, you know, hero running back with, just
Right.
because I
Travis
don't know the
Kelsey.
floor. Kelsey's rising.
Yeah. Well, I was
Um,
actually really surprised that we have two teams that have already gone two running backs. That's kind of actually why I was thinking we should go running back here. I haven't got very many shares of Achan.
Look at all the
Let's
running
do
backs
it.
going early.
I would have, Kyron's actually higher on our rankings, of course, but Achan is a perfect example of redraft versus draft best ball. Best ball. You might get 40 points out of Achan on given weeks. You don't have to put him in your lineup, and it's added up throughout the year, so you don't have to win. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Um, let's see. Nick said, "Do live streams count towards your watch time goal for monetization?" Yes, Nick, they do. Thank you. And especially if you're commenting, we love
Yeah,
comments
commenting is
because
important too.
it helps with the algorithm. As many comments as you can get in there helps with the algorithm. Helps us, get as much viewership as possible, and that will help our watch time as also. One thing we have to get for monetization is, of course, more subscribers. We keep climbing. But right now during the off season, it's hard because this is the bulk of what we're doing is best ball, and only certain people watch best ball.
Mhm.
Only certain people do it. So
Yeah, we'll be doing this a couple weeks, and then at least live streaming wise, we're going to be doing this the majority of the time, the rest of the summer. But other videos that we have, like we just released one today of like fantasy stuff. We're going to take a break in a little bit to do some fun prediction videos.
right,
Worst to first, do some
Isaiah
speculation that will
Pacheco.
enhance viewership. I mean, our best video by far has been a power rankings video, and we couldn't have even imagined getting 2,000 views just 3 months in on a video, and then everything else is just about 100 to 200. So
So we're up next. Cooper Cup's on the board there, Debo, and then there's an interesting thing we could do with Sam Laporta because we did get him on Raw. We've done it in the past. I don't know who just got picked. Stephon Diggs. So
let's go with Cooper.
yeah, I like that. I think that since he fell to us, I think that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, he's
Let's just
he's kind
draft
of
him.
gotten early in the 3 turn.
Yeah,
More recently,
much
I
higher
just
than
feel like every
expected.
single person that's rising is from a viral thing or video. And Cooper Cup came out with like a podcast with his wife, I believe, and just kind of talking about his origin story, being a no name walk
Right.
on, and his story and inspiration and all that stuff, and how he's trying to rebuild and get back after a down year from an injury. So uh, all of a sudden that went out, and he rose up to the 2-3 turn.
Yep.
He actually fell,
Yeah.
but this is kind
Right.
of really where he's been going for the most part.
Very odd draft if you look around. You've got
Everybody's all over the place right now.
multiple running back teams already. Travis Kelsey going way earlier than expected. Stephon Diggs going earlier than his ADP. Isaiah Pacheco going in the early third round. That's the first time I've seen that happen.
You're gonna see that all the time in redraft based on what I see the
Right.
ADPs. But right now, yeah, that's a little early. But at the same time, when we're talking about volume and stuff, he's one of the few that you can be like, yeah, I can see 300 touches.
Right.
So I understand it, even if he's right on the edge as an RB1 for us.
I think Zay Flowers, Amari Cooper. I didn't expect Zay Flowers and Michael Pittman to fall to us. We have. Hold on, I don't think we have a week 14 bye. We do not.
No.
So which one would you rather have?
Let's go with Amari.
Okay.
Contract year, easiest schedule against wide receivers this year. They have the hardest overall strength of schedule, really trailing or in a lot of situations to pass. This all just kind of comes down to,
I will say
Deshaun and him build chemistry, because I'm not even concerned really if Deshaun goes down and he continues to struggle, because like Jameis Winston, we've seen, like I've said before, throw for 300 yards and spot starts and stuff since
right.
he, transitioned to being a backup full time. But yeah, I mean, that is the first running quarterback that has been stacked
Nice.
so far.
Yeah,
It took 5
Lamar.
quarterbacks.
I'd expect the
And
Lamar
CJ Stroud went a
team.
full round early too.
I was gonna say I expect the Lamar team, Mark Andrews, but how is that even gonna happen?
Yeah.
because they
And
already have
then
Laporta.
Mahomes didn't get the Kelsey. I don't even know if Marquise Brown will fall to him.
Josh Allen's normally a later stack
Yeah.
guy, so that's okay.
The Hurts one, he missed Devontae and Saquon and AJ Brown. Yeah, so
It's very interesting. T. Higgins. So that team over there on the left, I'm expecting to go obviously Tua and the team two because they got both Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. Joe Mixon goes. Running backs are actually going a lot earlier. This feels very redraft esque to me
yeah,
because we're already to Joe Mixon at the end of the fourth, which is pretty early.
than what we've seen.
Yeah, way earlier than what we've seen. Josh Jacobs went at the 4-4, which is even higher than what we were just talking about. Travis Etienne at the end of the third. So yeah, this running back run is kind of crazy. We might have to adjust our strategy just a
Ladd
tad.
McConkey's going in the sixth or the
Fifth,
fifth.
5-2.
Like,
That's crazy, guys.
and that was 5 receivers and 5 picks.
Yes, for him, that's 5 for
So,
5. So
I mean, this
he's
is crazy.
but
So what we were saying earlier was that this range of tight ends is just so nice to
yes, we're gonna have to get one of them.
like. We're gonna have to because we're not gonna get one on the end around.
I'd love to take Kincaid. Yeah, here.
I can't stop drafting him. I mean, he is going to have so much volume
Who
after
did
the
they
vacated
pick?
targets.
Kenneth Walker. Oh my gosh.
Goodness gracious.
We might have to get a running back here pretty soon, just so that we
Hey,
have one.
We will,
Because
hey, if we have to end up being hero with him and we're gonna get value later because all these guys are going running back early, like I'm fine with that.
fair.
Because I mean, there's guys like Zach Moss and Tony Pollard and all these that are capable RB2s that I'm
Mhm.
not really getting enough of, and it's mainly because I am going hero and then kind of slamming in the seventh with like the Samir Whites and
Right.
Camaras and all that good stuff. So
We also kind of have to think about our own quarterback, who we want. A lot of quarterbacks have gone actually at this point. There goes Rashad White. There's a team with 3 running backs, and then you got 1, 2,
so
3,
he did fall.
4,
Okay.
5 teams with 2 already in the 5th round.
I bet you that team on the turnaround is going to go Rasheed Rice based on where his ADP is.
This one
'cause
here.
He was able to get Hollywood to fall. Usually he's been going in the early 5th of late.
Mhm.
But yeah, this is a very all over the place draft. There's not even a single team other than I guess the Puka Gibbs team, and that's just because he was able to luck into Puka, or
Right.
not luck into Puka, but more so luck into Jameer. That's the lowest I've ever seen him go.
Yeah, I've never. Yeah, it's the 18. No way. And guys, jump in the chat. We've only had a couple chats tonight. Get in there and talk to us. Let's hear what you got to say. Kind of tell us if you think which guys you want to get to as much as possible, which receivers in that, or which tight ends in that weird range that we were just showing. Those top 5 receivers are very important, and right now only one in that receiver with the tight ends of 3 where you have Kincaid, McBride, and Andrews has gone, and that was to us. I'm really surprised that we
There
have
goes one,
another one.
but it wasn't even the Lamar team.
There goes McBride. He's probably mad.
Oh well, yeah, you said earlier that he wasn't going to go.
Okay, there goes both of those tight ends like we just talked about, and then Kyle Pitts right after that.
All right. Well, good thing we grabbed ours. I didn't expect that, any of those guys would fall to us in the 6th round.
Rasheed Rice. There it
Yeah,
is. Good
exactly.
job, Cam.
Go
Calling it
viral for
out.
that call.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Looking
All
at
right,
it
so,
here. Let's
yeah,
go.
right here. Very interesting spot. It doesn't correlate well, but David Montgomery, we're probably going to be targeting Jared Goff.
Yeah, I like going Jaden Reed. I like going DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah, if you want to go receiver, those were the 2 that I was thinking about. So
let's go Reed. He's kind of fallen to us, and I'm not getting very much of him because of the fact that he's in just a weird ADP. He's a little earlier than expected for me.
Yeah, I mean, because where's your most exposed quarterback so far is Jordan Love, right?
He is.
So I mean, he's going at the end of the 7th, early 8th, right?
Yeah,
and so that's like on the opposite end of where Jaden Reed's going, which is early 6th, late 5th. So it's kind of awkward. And normally Jordan Love lovers, so to speak, it's more often that they're stacking with Christian Watson, Romeo Dobbs,
Right.
Dontavius Wicks, and even Luke Musgrave, based on where the ADPs are lining up.
Yeah, Brandon, great question. He said, how do y'all think the Mostert Achane split is going to look? It's actually really weird because we have if you we just put out a hates ADP hates video. Mostert is one of the guys on there. We're lower on him because of the fact that we just think he had so many touchdowns last year. We expect him to go down. That's just realistic. And then secondly, it's like Achane's going to be a sophomore. They just drafted another rookie behind the two of them, and it just feels like Mostert's the guy on the way out, and the other two are kind of coming into it. I'd expect Achane to be the main guy, obviously, and then you get the other two, probably a 50-50 split between
And
them.
it was also interesting. I was looking up some stats earlier, and actually Devon Achane splits with Mostert in the lineup versus without. It's even better when he plays.
Really?
And so that kind of gives people more confidence why he's going in the second round.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing is just he went with 3 separate injuries. He started the year kind of on the mend, and then he got banged up, came right back that same game he got hurt, and then had to miss a couple more. But every game that he played, essentially until the very, very end of the season where they really started struggling, he produced consistently. But it's just dealing with 3 injuries already, and he's not a guy that's really fit to be the in between the tackles runner.
Right.
I think it's the exact same to me as Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery, and they're basically going the same range.
Okay, so we're up again. Might be the time to get second running
Ramondre.
back and Ramondre. That's exactly what I was thinking. And I didn't expect D-Hop to fall. We also like Evan Ingram.
I also haven't expected a lot that's happened so far.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, with Ramondre, I didn't really get much of to start this best ball season.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's hard. We talked about the Patriots at the very beginning. Lowest win total. There's just not a lot to love. They're kind of normally above average lines kind of graduated out. And so
Right.
now they're one of the below average lines. But I also didn't expect them to get a 4-year extension. And part of the reason that we didn't love him was because Antonio Gibson, who's a primary pass catcher, came in. And Ramondre in 2022, he made all of his money through targets and receptions.
Right.
And so we were like, all right, so even if that he digs into that a little bit, maybe he's the goal line guy, but he's not getting 75 targets anymore.
Yeah.
But getting an extension like that this early, they didn't need to extend him, and they did. It's just like, all right, well, they invested in him. But we've also seen before where investments just don't work out, like Samaje P. Ryan, Chase Edmonds. I
Right. Of
massively
course.
flopped on that one
Hey,
when he
he
signed with
got
Miami.
he got the first
So
team touches, and Salvin Ahmed was the
Salvin
guy.
Ahmed and then Raheem towards the end
Yeah,
of the season.
exactly.
So
Look at this run on tight ends. It's crazy. Dustin has a question, and Steiger, you should be sorry you're late. Dustin said, "Is taking Marvin Harrison Jr. in the first round overrating him?" Personally, I don't think that that's overrating him just because of the offense. Kyler Murray's been a top 10 quarterback when he's healthy every single year, basically. He has to have a number one receiver, and Marvin Harrison's the most talented receiver in that receiving room. And he's a good quarterback. He can get the ball to them. I'd expect them to be down. Like, their defense is not good. Their defense is not good at all. So points scored on them will be high, and they're going to have to try to keep up. So I don't know that I think it's overrating. He's probably better at the beginning to mid second round, but if you did that, more power to you. I think it's okay.
I'll say my little snippet right after I pick. We're on the clock next, and we kind of have a lot of ways we can go with this.
Yes.
Still haven't gone quarterback yet. We can wait one more round since we're right in the middle. Get a wide receiver 5 going.
Najee Harris,
tight end
JSN.
2 if you wanted.
What do you think?
Or running back 3, like I told you about Zach Moss.
Better hurry.
Zach Moss.
Okay. Zach Moss. Oh yeah. We haven't got enough of him.
Again, we haven't. It's not like we're in love with it, but again, the winning strategy, millions of dollars were won because Devon Achane and Raheem Mostert were basically going both in the 10th, 11th round. And those that went back to back, I just want both of them. One's got to work out, and then they both are top 7 running backs.
Right.
My best team that, I did not profit in best ball last year, but the one team that kind of salvaged the majority of my losses because of the quarterbacks that we invested in was the team that had Raheem Mostert and Devon Achan on it.
Right.
Um, but to answer um, Dusty's question earlier, Marvin Harrison, the problem is just he's going exactly where we have him ranked.
Right.
And so we're not getting value per se by taking him in the first or even early second. It's just like, oh, haven't had a share of him in a while.
Mm-hmm.
Click on him because we want to be 20-ish%. 18 to 20 is probably a good range. I It sounds bold saying this, but I think he's safer than Justin Jefferson just because you don't know
I agree.
the touchdown production.
Right.
But Marvin Harrison, like the equivalent of what a Jamar Chase rookie year was, where he had 8-9 touchdowns and 1,400 yards. That's exactly kind of a reasonable ceiling for him.
Right. One thing. So yes, for the Marvin Harrison things, we do like him. He's where he should be. I want to make sure we get Jared Goff. This team is going to be very mad at us.
No, I
I'm
agree.
so excited.
But I just didn't expect.
He has 2 quarterbacks though, so I guess he won't be that mad.
Yeah, because the only other, or I guess where I don't know where Jameson Williams went, if he even went yet. Oh, he went to Brockwood.
Yeah. Oh my God, there's no way he's still there.
And that's why I keep drafting him.
How
He
is
just keeps
Jason
falling.
still there?
Unfortunately,
I think that's the wrong pick, but it's really sad. Or do you think that team? Oh my God, I'm talking myself into it. We have how many week 10 buys? We have 2. All right. What do you think? You tell me. I'll just star this for now.
Listen.
Tell me.
In all my years,
You're gonna run out of time.
No, we have to go Jared Goff.
Oh, but come on. Okay.
We have to
do the right thing.
Yeah, we have an absurd amount of them. So
we do, but he should not be there, guys. He should
be
not be 114 or whatever. 105. Sorry, that's crazy to me. Hopefully he got picked on the next pick, and we can just be yes, he did. We can be happy with that. Someone got a great pick.
That's the guy that had Jameer fall to him.
Mm-hmm.
And then
he also has 2 quarterbacks and 2 running backs. He just doesn't have enough wide receivers, in my opinion.
And Dusty followed up just saying, do you like Pitts or Njoku more? That's a good question. Really, really good question. And honestly, draft them both. In the same draft, there is very volatile between both of them. David Njoku finally had his breakout year in his 5th season.
Yeah.
But really his best work came with Joe Flacco. He was really kind of a low tier tight end 1, right where we have him with Deshaun Watson. And then he really turned it on once he went down. Kyle Pitts, we've just been waiting for the moment and it still hasn't happened. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. But both of them have the ceiling of 1,000 yards and 7 touchdowns, which would be a top 5 tight end.
Right.
But also there's some floor there as well, which is why Njoku's a little lower and we have Kyle Pitts so high because of the TJ Hawkinson's absurd numbers since he joined in the season and a half sample size with Kirk Cousins. He was tight end 1 by a mile. And that's with Travis Kelce in the league playing well. So like both, but I would recommend if you're going to go with either one to have a strong tight end 2 to pair with him.
Right. And then I was going to say Zeke went at the 10-1, which is pretty interesting. I think he's starting to climb, obviously, but over certain guys here, Javonte, I mean, I think he makes sense over like Trey Benson because his workload. There goes Javonte. Let's see. We have 3 running backs. I think we get best player available here. So do you like?
What's our receiving room?
Right now we've got Amon-Ra Cooper,
Cooper, and Jaden.
Mm-hmm.
I think wide receiver 5 is probably a good bet, and we love clicking on Josh Palmer in this range. Really, it came down to Josh Palmer and Trey Benson. Trey, if we didn't already go through running backs, cool. But we're expecting to get Chase Brown the next round, probably is a target.
Either that or Justin Herbert.
Well, yeah, but I mean, if we were going the idea of the Zach Moss thing, which I didn't really get into, but
right, go ahead,
we haven't had a ton of shares of Zach Moss. But one thing that I told Emery this via text. I just don't want to take a stand so much on an idea.
Cincinnati
So
running backs.
Chase Brown had some very solid, kind of breakaway runs and stuff. He had the second highest speed of any running back, top speed
Yeah.
last year, and that's with Devon Achane and Mostert going wild. Derrick Henry was actually third, which is crazy. But anyways, Zach Moss, he's never been a full-time starter, but he's going so high on part of being the default starting running back, but also having a good first month
Right.
once he took the job from Deion Jackson. And listen, I think it's going to be a 1-2 punch, but if there's going to be a similar backfield that does a poor man's version of what Miami's did last year, I think it's Cincinnati's, because Joe Mixon every year was a 300 target / carry hog, and he's gone. They only replaced him with Zach Moss. They didn't
Right.
draft another running back. So it's really him and Chase Brown. They're both ideas, but I don't want to take a stand of 20% one and 0% the other. It's more like a 15-5, 20-10, etc. We lean Chase Brown because he's going 2.5 rounds later, but it's both good offenses and both could have their stretches
Right.
during the
Absolutely.
season.
One guy that I think might derail your idea is still on the board.
Jerome Ford.
Yeah, Jerome
Yeah.
Ford still on the board. We might, I would side Jerome Ford, I guess, over Chase Brown just for the fact that
I don't disagree.
he's the one in Cincinnati. I mean, in Cleveland until we get news of.
And if we go Jerome Ford, then that would probably lock in Deshaun as a quarterback for us, since we took Cooper earlier. And then also, with that being said, since we went golf number one, it's probably a 3 quarterback build, which is fine. But that's just kind of my thoughts.
That's
if
fine.
we
Yeah.
did go that way.
Well, and then I was gonna say,
and actually, I don't know if you noticed, but Nick Chubb actually went before Jerome Ford, which we are not seeing anymore.
Yeah. What's his ranking on? Did he get auto drafted? Is my only
No,
question.
he was,
got picked.
he got picked. It was scroll down.
Okay.
I think it was at the other turn
right here.
Yeah, 4 picks before, 5 picks before. So
2 picks.
2 picks. Sorry.
2 picks before. Yeah.
People auto drafted right
Yeah,
after.
yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I mean, you're at this point, Nick Chubb really, we're kind of off of completely, and only taking him if we've got 4 running backs on the board already.
Mhm.
Kind of similar to TJ Hawkinson. We don't mind taking him as a tight end too if you have Travis Kelce or Sam Laporta. But if you've got Dallas Goedert as your tight end 1, or Jake Ferguson, I probably want a stronger tight end 2, or a more reliable one that you're going to be able to sit on. Because if I just have to deal with 6 weeks of one of those first 5 tight ends that we love so much, like, you are going to be just fine.
So I have a question for the chat, because Steiger said that he would rather take Njoku until Pitts is able to prove himself. There's in tier 2, you have Kyle Pitts, Evan Ingram, Brock Bowers, George Kittle, Jake Ferg, and David Njoku. Like, all those guys are really good, and we're not taking necessarily stands on them. We're kind of just getting a nice field of them. I mean, Brock Bowers, we're taking a stand on because of the price value, of course. But in the chat, who's y'all's guys that y'all are taking in that grouping? Because that grouping is actually, to me, kind of difficult to navigate, because I think, of course, some of those guys have a chance to challenge for tight end 1. I mean, we saw Njoku as the tight end 1 for the last 8 weeks of the year. We saw Evan Ingram almost break the record as the tight end for tight end receiving yards, I believe, in Jacksonville. So all those guys are very
receptions. I'm sorry.
Was it receptions? Yeah. Okay. But in Jacksonville, all those guys are really good. Who do y'all have a stand on out of those guys? And then we're up on the clock, so let me get to the right spot. We did not get Jordan Love.
So if you wanted to go ahead and go, we have Cooper Kupp.
Yeah, we can get Matthew Stafford.
I would still kind of
Deshaun.
Prefer to get Deshaun as well.
That's fine.
And then we just have a really solid trio of tier 3 quarterbacks.
When do we need to take next round? We need to take
that guy.
Yeah.
That was my idea.
Okay.
The whole time was going Stafford here,
and then
our favorite in the 13th, which
it's
pretty
basically
consistently
where we're getting him.
Get.
Mm-hmm.
And at some point, Kamani Vidal is going to rise into the 12th round if what we project is to be true. But we've got 3 weeks of dead space in time.
Pitts. I'll send the list to y'all.
Yeah. So It's very interesting. And then the other thing is, I know we went Kincaid that we love, but tight ends are kind of starting to go off the board too. Really, Luke Musgrave is
Hmm.
the only other tight end left because Hawkinson went the 10th round. Um, then at that point, we might have to think about our options with the third tight end as well. Which
Right.
our running back room, I'd say, is pretty much
Yeah.
stronger than I thought it would be. And then
I think it's solid considering we just had that slew of running backs right at the beginning. I
right,
was a little nervous.
and then receiver wise, like I'm getting tons of shares of all of those guys and putting them all together as a tandem is fine. And we've
Hmm.
got stacks of 2 already,
Yes.
and we're gonna get a third one ideally in the 14th round. Or
Yes.
15, actually
15th, I
15th.
think. 15th. Yeah, I think he
Well,
was
I know he'll be available
157.
in the 14th, but 15th is basically his sweet spot.
Yeah, we've
Um,
got, I mean, so right now you look at our team, I mean, we're pretty balanced across the board. We have a strong tight end one. We have no tight end two, so we'll have to go find that. But there's some guys that are
but
still
again,
left.
if we have to go 3 quarterbacks
Deshaun
and
is
3 tight
gone.
ends,
Deshaun is gone.
that was my fear.
That is
Just
early,
because,
though.
I mean, look at all the quarterbacks that have gone so early.
Yeah, back to back to back to back to back.
That's a lot of pink or magenta or whatever you.
I
There we
get.
go.
Oh, there you go. Another one.
That's not what I was talking about.
Oh, Kamani. Yeah,
Mhm.
Kamani Vidal.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. Well,
Khalil Herbert.
we're gonna have to
This
go
is
make
such a
some
weird.
decisions.
Okay.
I mean, Rico Dowdle still being there is crazy to me.
So
Luke Musgrave might be the answer.
Luke Musgrave, Taysom Hill is interesting, but it's the same bye week, so I'd probably lean with Luke if you want to go
9
that route.
seconds.
Yeah.
Luke.
Mhm.
All right, let's do it. I think that makes sense.
Think we're-
I'm really surprised that Rico Dowdle is still on the board. So I guess
That's
I
an
don't know.
interesting one that
Especially with Khalil Herbert going before him.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, Rico's really never had a workload to even be worthy of being in the first 13 rounds.
Right.
He should probably be in the 15th, 16th round with all of these handcuffs, but it's just because there's not a lot of believers in Zeke at the moment to just handle all the important touches.
So it looks like we got some Ingram love in the chat. I mean, Brandon goes, I like Ingram, and then McBride is above those guys, Dustin. I didn't even add him. We have him at 5, but at the same time, like he's being
I think-
projected as the number
I
one tight
think
end at a lot of places.
I
so.
think Trey McBride is closer to being a part of the tier 1 than,
this group that
even
that
though
I wrote.
he is the start of our tier 2, I'd almost want to put him
It's
in
almost
tier
like
1.
tier 1, tier 2 is Trey McBride, and then tier 3.
Yeah,
It's how we
but
kind of
I
look at
don't
it, I think.
think it was worthy of putting him by himself.
Right, exactly. But yeah, Ingram, Ferg, Kittle, Njoku, Bowers, Pitts. I mean, that's a fine way to look at it. I think that there's a little bit of bias towards Jake Ferguson on that one. Just saying. But yeah,
I don't know if Dak's ever had a non-tight end 1.
Right.
And that's why we left him, and he was my best call last year.
Mm-hmm. Let's see who we got. I'm not getting any Josh Downs. I'm gonna just be honest. Xavier Legette.
I was thinking Xavier or Jermaine Burton.
Yeah,
I like a lot. Or again, we're not going to have a ton of him, but if you're not comfortable with Devon Achane, Jalen Wright.
It's our handcuff. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. How many running backs do we have?
And we lost out on Kamani, so
it's true. Let's do it. I think that makes sense to me.
Might be our only share of him, but it's okay.
Well, and stacking,
we're doing
of course,
it correctly,
it's important.
Ladies and germs.
And it looks like Dustin would also take Ingram. And just so everybody knows, like you look at this list that I just sent. Hold on, let me get to it. Pitts is going higher than Ingram, and Kittle's going higher than Ingram. So basically, y'all are saying that those guys don't deserve to be above Ingram. Of course, this is a completely different thing than redraft, but I just want to kind of say that.
So now that we're talking about the tight ends, we missed it earlier, but I wanted to bring up what I wanted to talk with you about. So I know you've said before that you really like Ingram. We're getting a ton of him. It's all understandable, but it's kind of more like a did you know? Because he has now 2 years, a year and a half sample size with Christian Kirk.
Mm-hmm.
With him, both last year and this year.
Trevor Lawrence, right?
No, well, yes, but Christian Kirk as well, because this is important for the split. He, in both 2022 and the sample size of 12 games in 2023, exactly 10.4 points a game. right? Very respectable, but it's not a ceiling tight end play,
Right.
right? In 28 games, 4 touchdowns. Christian Kirk goes down last year, the final 5 weeks of the season. In 5 games, 5 weeks, leads the NFL in tight end targets, has 4 touchdowns that match the 28 game sample size. Tight end 1 at 19.1 points a game. So he basically doubled his total without Christian Kirk on the floor.
Okay.
Now that Christian Kirk is back, do you still think that he can coexist, or will he just kind of remain a floor play that he's had in a very solid sample size?
I think for me personally, I think it has to do with Trevor Lawrence and his ability to play because he's been so inconsistent. So truly, that's where I kind of go. Like, if I think like Trevor Lawrence needs to take his step, or we're all just going to have to write him off and just say he's just not as good as we thought he was. Because truly, of course, he's been in the playoffs, but he hasn't been in the first 4 years of his career anything special. We need him to become special like we expect him to be. Like, and if he does that, I think he can obviously support 2 guys, maybe even 3 guys. So that's kind of how I look at it.
Look at team 2.
3 quarterbacks, and they're JJ McCarthy and Russ. That's
drafted 5 rounds early.
Yeah. All right. You go ahead.
Xavier Legette's still there. Jermaine's
both of them are still there. Yeah, we win.
One of them.
Who would you rather have? Let's go look at our buys, actually. Let's go see. So 5, 6,
I don't think we have a week 11
10. Bye. We also don't have a week 12. 5.
Idea is, since we still need a third quarterback, Xavier Legette, and then pretty quickly go Bryce.
Okay. I'm with that.
Again, sounds gross.
Well,
but
Bryce might be gone, actually, based on how early everybody's going.
Listen, I'm just trying to.
Nope, he's still there. He's still there. Okay. Yeah. Well, I just want to make sure because, I mean, JJ McCarthy just went. I mean, if JJ's going, Bryce.
I'm just trying to. Like I said, we're doing an excellent job. Whether you like our team or not, based on the players that we selected, we're correlating it exactly how we should.
Well, and also it's like we're navigating this draft really well. One of our big things on our when y'all see our intro that we have actually recorded, our best ball intro, finally recorded, got everything together, but it's adapt. You have to be able to adapt, guys. And adapting to the draft is exactly what we're trying to do. And I think we've done a pretty good job of that.
I mean, the only true thing that didn't really work out is, we went with Jerome Ford with the intention of doubling. And
right.
Deshaun Watson goes a round and a half early.
Right.
So
Kamani Vidal
doesn't work out, but at the same time, we pivoted to correlate elsewhere. Jalen Wright wouldn't have been our pick had it worked out, but I mean, we're going to Devon Achane, and if Devon Achane goes down, he can step right into 7 touches. I don't think it would be a 25 touch on an extended workload for Raheem Mostert.
Right. So I think with Jalen Wright, is more of a hindrance to Raheem Mostert than he is a hindrance to Achane. Like, I think basically to me, it's like you have Achane as 1A and then 1B is 2 guys. And I think that bites into Mostert because if Jalen Wright gets 7 touches, that's crazy. If Jalen Wright gets 7 touches a game, like that is destroying what Mostert's value is in my eyes. And that's why he's one of our least favorite guys. Oh, we almost got there. Dang it.
Dude, these quarterbacks are going insane.
I'm happy we have 2 because I don't know if we're going to be able to get a third.
But the fact that, again, it sounds gross, but the fact that, maybe starters like Drake and McCarthy are going before Bryce Young, who is going to start, has an easy schedule and one of the easiest strength of schedules against quarterbacks.
Yeah. I mean,
we're getting Carolina players because nobody else wants to. And that's kind of one of the stands we're taking so far.
No, he's gone on the 1 pick before us. Damn it.
This is crazy.
Okay. Well, let's pivot. Ray Davis shouldn't be there still.
It's a gross range.
Yeah, we need tight end. I think Ray Davis is the best option.
Sure.
It's gross. Everything's gross. That's okay.
Another person that's starting to rise, I don't know if you noticed, but Eli Mitchell's all the way to 180.
He's the backup.
And nothing has come out about any of the 3 between him, Isaac, Garindo, the rookie that they drafted in the 4th round.
5th, I thought.
5th round.
Maybe you're right. Maybe 4th. But
either way, no news has come out. No viral pick has gone out, and he's risen like 30 spots. I don't get it.
Yeah, it is what it is.
But again, he is only relevant if you have CMC or if CMC goes down. And
Right. Yeah.
so it's really interesting why he's rising. Like similar to Braylon Allen, we love him as a talent. Like we knew that he's been this swole and big,
Yeah. He was that
but
in college.
but we're still acknowledging that he is irrelevant from a fantasy perspective without um
Okay.
without Brees Hall going down. But
Yeah.
is that team just went back to back quarterbacks and then three straight tight ends?
So let's look at these numbers. You have 3 quarterbacks already chosen, 3 quarterbacks, 3 quarterbacks, 3 quarterbacks, 3 quarterbacks. 4 quarterbacks. Oh my goodness gracious.
How
One
many
one
4 teams with one tight end at this point?
I have 4 tight ends here.
Yeah. This is the weirdest draft, dude.
Every
Like
time we get on live stream, I feel like we get some
usually when
weird
you have weird
groups.
drafts that sabotage for strong teams, you can pick out the strong team, and I can't even pick that team out because
We are the
I guess
strong team. They were sabotaging for us. No, I did have a question to everybody in the chat. I mean, we have 9. First off, we have 9 in the chat. 8 likes. Please go like. 1 left. Let's get 100%. But the other thing is, I just want to know, like, of course we're gonna expect, in redraft leagues to get waiver wire pickups. Um, we're only gonna get, the first 140-ish players in regular. So who are the guys that y'all are like ready to jump on? Who are the guys like you're like, oh, Tyron Tracy, oh, he got the first team reps over Devin Singletary. I'm getting him right now. Like who's the guy that you're like, okay, let's attack this. Biggest pickup obviously last year was Puka Nakua. No one really saw that coming. But who are y'all like expecting to do something and you're like, I'm already ready to spin my fab on it? Braylon Allen's moved up. Just saying. Yeah, Tyron Tracy's been jumping. That was a guy that I just mentioned. Bucky Irving, true backup there.
Troy Franklin's dropped like 30 spots.
Bo Nix got picked already.
And on top of that, has fallen like 19.
Oh, whoops. We are up next.
I am kind of just mention what I want. Like, I don't know at this point with we might as well just stay 2 quarterbacks with everybody.
That's what I was thinking.
But unless maybe Justin Fields is still there. Like, he's the only other guy that I would think he's still there.
What do you want to do?
Troy Franklin sticks out to me.
Okay, I agree.
I see the path. Like,
yeah,
it's such an easy path to just understand.
We're gonna do it.
Okay.
I think, and then Marvin Mims, his teammates right there. Cortland Sutton's the other guy. They have no tight end that is really worth talking about right now.
Once again, Troy Franklin in our first 1.0 mock was at the end of the first, and he won the 4th round to the team that his quarterback got drafted to.
Yeah, we had him originally to go into Kansas City, and the weird thing was he had a bad combine, and he had a 10% drop rate, and I think that turned teams off. But at the same time, he had 1,300 plus yards. He had over 95 receptions. It's like still really good football player going really late, but he's going to where his quarterback's at. He fits that style of offense that he's already played at Oregon. That's what they want to run. He's a little bit of a sleeper, but
and then also his wide receiver
got
one,
another quarterback.
Yeah, I don't get it, but yeah, his wide receiver one, Cortland Sutton, he's never been a target hog where he gets 12 targets a game. The volume isn't there otherwise. It's straight up 7, 8 targets, but maybe scoring a touchdown. And the wide receiver 2 role after Jerry Jeudy is gone is wide open. Tight end is just wide open. Running back is apparently wide open.
Right.
So there's just opportunity. They will be trailing a lot. And we already know he has chemistry because he had one of the best years in the nation last year.
Brandon said he's not going to snitch on himself and give away who he's going to try to pick up. I will say, right, Brandon, I completely snitch on myself every time I get on the show. So you should probably say something. Help me out a little bit, right, when we get to go. But yeah, so getting down here at the end, we've seen so many quarterbacks jump up the board, so many tight ends. Like these guys, so we're gonna just chase the value, Like I don't know what you want to do at tight end. I really don't. We could go Jatavian or Theo Johnson or oh my gosh.
So he just went, but Jelani Woods was another guy that I thought about. There's a lot of running backs that we like. But we have to go tight end. We have to.
Which one would you
Just
rather get?
Tavion.
Okay, that's what I thought.
I mean, who else is available? Like
Theo, Zach Ertz.
tight end twos on their team
Is Zach Ertz a tight end too?
behind Ben Sinnott.
Oh, well, yeah, but a lot of people think he's going to be the starter at the beginning of the year. He's going to do the
Either way,
Trey McBride-esque thing that he did
I
in
mean,
Arizona.
sure, maybe. But another one that's interesting, we've had a lot of in the past. I think last year I had a decent amount of exposure that he's starting to rise is Noah Fant. A lot of people have been talking about him as a third tight end on their team. And it's just like I don't see it.
Right.
I just don't see it. We've tried it, but the thing is, the price is so low that it doesn't really matter if you take some shots on him just because he is a starting tight end by default, former first round pick. He's still young. He's got 5 tight ends.
He's 5 tight ends, man. I don't know what's happening. So obviously, I think this team is sabotaging, and I don't know that he's like who he's sabotaging for. He's probably got his teammate way over here or something. These guys, I don't really know. These two went running back early. This guy went 3 quarterbacks, 3 tight ends, 4 quarterbacks for that guy. 3-3, 3-5, 3-3. I mean, I don't know, man. Let's go look at
You
the
don't
board.
see it every day where
Roshan
eight teams have at least 3 quarterbacks.
I don't know what to do. We go running back here with Roshan.
Okay.
Easiest click of my life.
Not much to say. I mean,
we think he could if Khalil Herbert gets moved, which we have talked about on this show a couple times because Khalil Herbert Cam brought this up. He doesn't play special teams, and a 3-headed monster you really don't see.
They also brought in Travis Homer, who's a special teams guru.
Yeah,
as a really good tackler for a running back, and then is typically just the up back, I guess, for punts and for kickoffs. And I mean, it's just like that's kind of what you would want as a third running back, not a all right, well, you're only a Jordan Howard-esque. You're just going to fall into the goal line and have annoying things happen.
Right. I was going to say we took 5 straight rookies, which is fine. We love rookies, but it's just an interesting thing to point out. This is kind of the range we start getting all these rookies too. So
we have a ton of really all of them other than Jalen Wright, which
I like Ray Davis. I mean, he's a change of pace back compared to what is in front of him. I really wish we would have got Bryce Young right here because then we would have double stacked these guys. But that's okay. Carson Wentz. Just
what are we doing? What are we doing? What quarterbacks are left?
I don't know. We're
Josh Dobbs.
Jacoby Brissett's an actual starter.
Yeah.
Sam Howell. Okay. Spencer. Drew Lock.
Next.
I don't know.
Really only Sam Howell.
Maybe Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah.
Because he's going to give you a few games as a starter. Yeah. What do you want to do here? I mean, we can literally do anything. Audric, Jalen Tolbert.
CEH, I actually haven't had a ton of.
Okay.
I'd say CH.
Let's do it.
We have probably like 50% estimate.
Yeah.
Tolbert, I like the idea of it, but I don't love that he's kind of approaching 30% ownership.
Yeah. Let's just take a second to look at this draft and admire that this guy has 4 quarterbacks and 1 tight end
and 9 receivers. Who's the tight end?
I don't know.
Okay.
Mark Andrews, but it's only one of them. How you're going to get a goose egg?
That guy has 10 receivers.
Holy hell. Guys,
9 receivers, 9 receivers, 9 receivers, 10 receivers, 9 receivers.
Guys, we're gonna come back to this. We're gonna come back to the draft at the end of the year and show you all that. We're gonna write off some of these teams right now.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 teams have at least 9 receivers.
That is absolutely nuts. I'm glad we got 3 really good receivers.
T-Dogs has 4 quarterbacks, 5
tight ends.
6.
There's a team with 4 tight ends and 4 quarterbacks. 3 and 3, 4 and 5. 3 and 4. King Chosen has 4 tight ends. Guys, if you're in the chat, just know that this is not what you do. This is a great choice, Brandon. I love that choice. Actually, we love him, especially if you get James Conner. But 10 receivers, 9 receivers, 1 tight end. Okay. We have guys with 4 tight ends, 5 tight ends, and then we have a guy with 1 tight end. Like, I don't know what to do.
I said, "Who's the mole? Who's the?"
Yeah, who won this draft? Is it this team here, Andrew? Because he went robust. He went like
Yeah,
a
he went
robust strategy.
Jacobs.
So let's see what his team is. DJ Moore, Terry, Calvin, Brian
Did he get
Thomas.
Trevor?
No,
No.
he got Jaden with who? Oh, with Terry. Okay, so that team's not terrible. Not
Justin
terrible.
Herbert.
And then Quint. Okay, he was actually drafting
He was
somewhat
drafting.
correctly. Um, we don't
Okay.
love J.K. Jelani Woods because he probably felt like he had to. Yeah. Okay, not terrible. I like my team more. Just saying. I don't know who else though to look at. Like these teams, maybe this guy,
How about the Stroud team? To the left of us.
this one here. Let's
Because
see.
they went with Diggs and
JJ, Kelsey, Diggs, Stroud, Kenneth Walker. Then they got a second stack. Eckler, Secure, TJ is their backup tight end, I guess. Is that their first tight end? Singletary, Aaron Rodgers, Khalil Herbert, likely. Yeah, I mean, okay. Yeah. Sky Moore is their last pick's crazy. Nelson Aguilar. Well, I've seen
I mean,
worse.
at the end of the day, if you're going like with the Mahomes stack, like every one of his like wide receiver fours, whether it's Justin Watson,
But he didn't go with he went.
I know
Oh,
that,
okay,
but
okay.
I'm saying I know the Sky Moore doesn't make any sense, but if you're just like
Right.
because it's really kind of hard to double stack Patrick Mahomes because you should not be drafting Rasheed Rice in the 6th round. And
Right.
then Kelsey, it's really hard to get on DraftKings because you have to go 3rd round to get him. And in this case, he won the 2nd round.
Mm-hmm.
And then Xavier Worthy was high. He's starting to dip a little bit. And then Hollywood is top 55.
Right.
But with all the guys, there's Kadarius Toney, Sky Moore, Johnson, CH.
Which
They're all
actually,
going in the 20th round.
I've seen a lot of the rugby player a lot.
I mean,
That's fine.
who was last year? Deneric Prince. There was a lot of love
Yeah.
for as he at the time was running back 4. And
Yeah.
he was starting to rise into like the 18th round because like BDGE and a couple other guys were like, "Oh, he's a late round gem."
You want to play?
And now nobody talks about him, even though he's still on the team.
Right. You want to play this $20
Let's
or do
do
you
it.
want to do the
Well, I feel good about
$9?
that one. The 9's gonna be not many people do the 3 max, so it's
Oh,
gonna
it
take a
takes
while
time.
to.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I
Let's
mean,
get in
after
there.
that draft, I feel
Alright.
froggy.
Let's do something crazy. Robust. Let's go. Whoa. Here we go. Here we go. Let's see. Get in there. This is the one that's gonna win, boys and girls. All right. Oh, Froggy, I like it. Stagger
Yeah,
got in there.
and now I know Brandon brought up Trey Brinson earlier as a sleeper. One, I don't think he'll go undrafted, so he won't be on the waiver wires at all. But outside of like late round running backs like Audric Estime, Kamani Vidal, Roshan Johnson, he's my most exposed running back on Underdog.
Yeah.
And it's mainly because you can consistently get him at like 110.
Yeah, he's a little later.
And so it's just like if he's your RB3 or later, he's the perfect guy for your team.
Also,
And
guys,
I haven't got enough of him.
Yeah. Also, guys, $20 entry fee on this one. Get in here. There is one person that is us. So make sure you come and join us in this draft. This is the big one. We're not going to tell you who we're picking. We're going to make sure that, no sniping us, of course, but come hang out, come draft with us. This is a fun draft. We're going to win them. What is this prize actually? Do you know the prize on
It's
this
the
one?
million.
Yeah, 1.5 million
Damn.
to first place. I mean, come on. Can't miss out on that, right?
Come on, let's buy a boat.
I am excited. What? Shoot, I might buy 5 boats.
Oh, we're the first one.
Yeah, we got some time. Let's see. I'll refresh real quick. I don't know who Cam Little is. Is the title Cam Little?
That's what I thought. But Dusty knows a lot of college players.
Oh.
Place kicker. Oh, I should have guessed.
Dang it. Yeah, we should have known.
I love it.
Dang it.
Who's he kicking for?
Good call, Dustin.
Jacksonville. Okay. All right. I'll get behind it.
Yeah, it's not Brandon McManus. Because he got in trouble, right?
Yeah.
That's right.
Harassing flight attendants.
Yeah. Happens. But yeah, so
Love it. Who
thank
was
thank you, Dustin.
what was the UFL kicker that
Got moved up.
yeah, what was his name?
I have to look that up. I'm gonna be honest. Jaguar.
Because he went to a really good offense. UFL kicker. Just Bates. Jake Bates.
Yeah.
He went to Detroit, I think. Yeah, Detroit. Mm. That Dusty, if there is somebody that you should spend, a couple of bucks for, it might be Jesse Bates.
It's Sebastian Janikowski. He's coming back. The legend. Or Robert Aguayo. He has an
Was cut.
incredible. How did we lose alike?
That's
Guys,
just mean.
that is not nice. We went from 8 to 7 really quick.
Somebody came back in just to be like, nah.
Take it away. Got 9 in this.
It was probably one of the people that we were making fun of in the last lobby, like the 9.
Oh, I bet they were
the
watching
5
us.
tight end
That's
team.
probably
They'd be
true.
like, I've had enough of these.
Yeah. They were watching us make fun of them. I mean, I probably would. Yeah, even if you were in my chat, I'd probably make fun of you for that. I'm gonna be honest. Don't leave. Don't leave. We're gonna get here. Oh, thank God we're in. What are we? Do something crazy.
That's crazy. All right.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
So
Decision.
All
right.
At the
So there's only
24
two guys that were
25.
between.
Yeah. I was thinking, who's the 24 25? I just don't think both of them fall to you.
Well, I don't think.
I don't think you can do robust with one.
But you could go double hero and just have like 5 running backs if you want to do that. But CD Lamb is really mighty pretty.
Yeah, if I'm gonna do a $20, I'm getting CeeDee Lamb.
All right.
You know what I mean?
Well, how about them Cowboys?
Let me see. I don't even know who's all like. So we have the 24 25 after this. We're going to have to think. Because, like, I hate. Okay, out of all the picks, guys, the number 1 overall spot is one of my least favorite by far.
Yep.
It's just.
Yeah, we've talked all about that recently.
I just can't get over how bad it is because even earlier in the year when we were, we expect. There we go. I got it. We expect Ayuk to be still there, but like that just muddies the water even more when Ayuk is, right there at the 2-3 turn. Deebo Samuel's at the 2-3 turn. It's like I don't know.
But most of the people that are getting them aren't really stacking. They're just kind of going Christian and then just whatever.
Yeah,
so,
I'd expect people in this 12 and the $20 to be a little bit sharper.
You would think, right?
Yeah, maybe not. I could be completely
But typically when I do a $20, and I've done it more often than I probably should have at
Stab.
this point. There's always like one.
Right.
There's one weirdo, and hopefully it's Marco 896.
Well, let's hope he doesn't pass on CMC. Let's hope he takes.
No,
CMC.
I hope he gets CMC and then just
does some crazy
screws
things.
the pooch from the rest of the way.
Right. Let's see. Oh, I messed up my phone. I can't see the chat. Let's see.
Someone say Sebastian.
Whoop.
Yes, sir.
You know it. It's my guy. He would hit you too. He was he's a big boy. Lefty. That lefty swag. Tyreek. This looks pretty normal, except for, of course, we're gonna make it a little abnormal.
Hey, but this is what people should be doing. We're taking stands.
Something crazy.
As soon as CMC goes on IR one of these weeks, we're going to immediately go live and just stare at the camera and be like, "I told you so."
Well, let's
just happen. Listen.
Let's hope just that
we don't
have
for
a different
here,
problem.
But
we could have the problem picking the wrong guy at number 1. But
at the same time, you see guys all the time that go off, but just based on the roster construction, they didn't go optimal or get as high ownership in the later parts of the year. I mean, usually the high ownership guys, when you make it later in the later rounds, are like the mid round guys that are probably more common. Again, Cooper Kupp was mine in my big year. Devontae Adams was, the second rounder, I believe. Guys that people can have more shares of, but CMC, you only get him if you're the first pick, and then you have to perfectly nail a top 2 strategy. It's so hard.
So right now, Dak is going at the 75, which is what, the 6-7.
Mhm.
So we could
Yeah,
we can make
he
that happen.
correlates a lot better on DraftKings than he does Underdog because he's going the 90s on.
No running backs.
So again, I just have to speak more for things to happen the other way,
right?
because I was just like, yeah, usually it's 7-8, it's Bijan and Brees is gonna fall to the 11th pick, and you just don't see
I
it. And
can't
then
believe this. You could talk
Jahmyr
about.
Gibbs is gonna fall into the second round again.
Oh my goodness. No, Jameer's going right here. Brees is falling into the second round. Oh no. Well, I can't speak it. You have to speak it. That's what has to happen.
But what do we want to happen?
Oh yeah.
Because here's the thing.
We're
He's
still
not making
so
it to
far
us.
away. What we want to
I can promise
happen
you
is,
that.
I'm not going to say it out loud, but there's another running back I would like to see fall all the way to us.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. And we're gonna get him too. So
Would you like to name him so that we can see it happen? Because you're on. No, he just went.
that's not who I was thinking about.
Oh.
I thought that was pretty unrealistic.
Oh no,
I saw it.
I was just
I saw it
hoping.
happen one time. I had the second pick and I had CD, and then JT fell to me at 23. But lately, he's just been going
Looks like we
early
have
second.
a really weird draft again.
I mean,
Is
hopefully,
anybody in the chat in the draft with us? Good to know. It'd be good to know. Not going to tell you what we're going to do. No injury concern for Brees? No. I think that Brees coming back off of an ACL injury to be one of the most electrifying running backs just tells me that he is.
Well, my thing is that if you had him and you drafted him where you did last year, you probably didn't make the playoffs because
Right.
he was, despite his ACL and concerns, going in the third round still. That's why we had nothing of him. It's just because it's not the unprecedented. We'll take some stabs on guys coming off ACLs. We have some Jonathan Brooks,
Right.
which happened later than Brees Hall's in terms of the calendar year. But it's just when you're going in the third round and you're expecting that from a behind the awful offensive line, I think it just comes down to if Aaron Rodgers is
Right.
not dysfunctional,
Mm-hmm.
and if they can put up 20 points a game. Because at this point, when you're going in the first round, last year was actually a down year outside of CMC for running backs. There wasn't another 20-point a game running back really that stayed healthy all season. And Brees Hall didn't have any of his damage until the fantasy playoffs.
Right.
So if you made it in spite of him, awesome. But you didn't make it because of him.
Right. Yeah.
So now you have to make it with him, and you're not going to if he shits the bed this early.
So Stagger says Cam wants the world to burn. I kind of actually want it to be more like a hurricane, where we're the eye and everybody else is just spinning in a
That's
circle.
basically how I felt last draft.
Yeah.
Like, this shit was just happening all around us.
Yep.
Backup quarterback after backup quarterback are just going off the board.
Crazy. We're actually getting a normal draft from there though, which is really sad. I was really hoping for craziness.
I wish we would be on the opposite
All
side.
this is crazy over here. None of this is crazy over here. But yeah, no, I really hope y'all do want to do. We'll say.
And those other most recent ones, like the pick before Jalen Waddle double got sniped, and then the IU double got sniped.
But that's who
exactly
love
who I wanted. And then
what week is 7? Okay, cool.
Yeah, it was Kyron, and then best receiver to me.
Mike.
And I would say Mike because I don't want to double Stafford.
Hey, we can't just pick best player available though. It's not gonna.
I know we're not going.
I'm just kidding. I'm just messing with you. No, but the chat. I really like what the chat was saying. We'll save a $3 draft for us to all get into at the same time. I think that would be a lot of fun. $3 is not that much, and it's fun to do these drafts and be a part of it. So yeah, it would be a lot of fun next week, next Wednesday. Let's make it our second draft. So you'll get to watch us. We'll be, ready to go. And then we'll do the second draft where we all draft together.
But we're not going to do some illegal shit because we're not trying to get kicked out.
No, we're not. Yeah, no.
We
just want to hang out.
Sponsorship, man.
Yeah, we just want to hang out. We want to, be
be
together here, guys.
We see all the time when people are just like, you can tell somebody's sabotaging their draft. If we live streamed a sabotage, that would not be the smartest thing in the world. So
we'd probably get kicked pretty quick.
Yeah, very different strategies on opposite sides of the end. So basically double hero on one side, and then the other side it's three wide receivers and then a 2 wide receiver tight end build.
Yeah,
So 4 straight 0 RBs
could be
next to
more.
us. And
I,
then we have a double hero next to us that went tight end also.
you
So
know,
again, that's why I hate going CMC, because teams like that is what ends up with, and it's just awful. It's just ugly. It's
ugly.
awful.
It's very ugly.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
glad they went Derrick Henry and not Kyron.
Yeah,
I would have been really sad. We would have just had to
even though it makes no
go.
sense.
Yeah, we would have just had to go. Probably 0 RB there.
Mhm.
Neighbors is actually kind of been falling, which is
Mhm.
good because that's what should be happening. But that adds to another. I'm glad we got it running back also because that adds another 0 RB.
Yeah, I would assume that we're probably going to go hero, because this next range is perfect range for one of our favorite tight ends. Whoever falls to us, we can get at one of the picks, and then there's a lot of good receivers
Right.
in that range as well. Or if you wanted to, like, hypothetically, Lamar fell all the way, and you wanted to stack him with Mark Andrews, perfectly fine with that. But most likely, tight end receiver is probably the best way to go there.
Steiger said, "Dusty, are you Dusty ankle breakers?" Um, I don't believe that's what Dustin looks like. I'm just gonna be honest.
I
So,
think there would have been, he would have found a way to draft 3 kickers there,
oh yeah,
even though it's not a thing.
yeah,
He would make it a thing. He'd find a way.
we would have multiple kickers. No, my name would have some sort of kicker pun in it.
Yeah.
Yep, solid, good. The teams on the ends. Wow, how about an Indy stack with low throwing?
Indy double.
Indy
And he's
double.
not going to get Anthony Richardson. I can tell you that much.
No one.
He is not falling to the 512 based on what we've seen.
Right.
What team has there any? No quarterbacks yet.
None.
So
We could do that. That could be an option. I don't know who we would
I
want.
doubt that no quarterbacks go before us. But if Josh Allen fell to us with Dalton Kincaid, that would be freaking cool.
That would be
It's not going to happen.
really
So
cool.
that's why I don't feel bad saying it.
That's not Dalton Kincaid though.
No, it's not.
That's not Josh Allen.
Brett Fraud is my favorite. Yes. That's so awesome.
What's that next
It's
part
open.
is
Where's open?
well, I mean, he did the Batman, but I think he was going for something else. Travis Etienne. I'm getting nervous.
We said it was normal, but it's turning very unnormal.
Well,
and it's mainly just because the quarterbacks aren't coming.
I just don't think like people are trying to like. Do you think so? Even if we don't get Josh Allen, I think we go Kincaid, right?
Yes.
Like so, son of a
There he
gun.
goes.
Well, that's fair.
Well, you're not getting Dalton, sir.
Yeah. Right. All right. Let's go check out the board. I think this team has to go wide receiver, right? We could go Lamar, Mark Andrews.
What do you think?
We could go Patrick
Well,
Mahomes.
I mean, we're actually targeting Dak though.
Yeah.
So I'm fine going non-quarterback here.
Let's get this.
So
one
we'll
then.
go Kincaid, and then probably
James
it's an awkward
Cook.
range of receivers.
I like James Cook though. We haven't gotten very much of him. We've been talking about this, but then you go back to back Buffalo.
Yeah.
Um,
Rashad White, another guy we haven't got enough of, and then that would set us up with a double opportunity with Baker later on.
That's true. Not against it. Marquise
or we can
H. Brown. I don't know who H. Brown is.
Hollywood Brown.
Oh, they put his name like that?
Yeah.
That's crazy. I have.
And then the other idea I had was Keenan Allen's a little further down the page, but as our wide receiver 3.
No, let's go Rashad.
Okay.
I like it.
Right.
I can't believe they put Hollywood Brown.
Both platforms have Hollywood now.
It's wild.
That's weird to me. He has been anything but Hollywood since he came into the NFL.
Yeah, I was gonna say since coming from college.
Right, Dusty. You traded a first-round pick for him.
I really want to know Batman's full name.
Send him a friend request. Be like, hey, I've been,
I will look at the end of the draft if y'all remind me. You have to remind me though, because I will forget.
Never ever do that.
That is ridiculous. I'm really sad.
Hero quarterback and hero tight end, like meaning that you double up on 2 elite ones, has never worked.
I'm just trying to
It's
see
never
like
worked.
what
And
was.
it doesn't correlate at all.
Yeah, what was he going for? Camara. That's a little early.
I think us taking Kincaid, he just was like, screw this draft.
He threw the draft.
Yeah.
Haha. So let's just write that team off.
Kincaid, or I'm sorry, Mahomes going in the fifth round.
Yeah,
While
that's
DraftKings
late.
is a little later. He's you can get that probably about 40% of the time on Underdog, but I haven't really gotten much of Mahomes in the fifth round on this platform, even though he's actually pretty high owned in my ownership. I actually have 19% of him.
Wow,
which is crazy.
That's a lot.
And I have one share of Travis Kelce, so most of that is Xavier Worthy, Hollywood Brown,
There
not
goes
Rasheed Rice.
Hollywood Brown actually fell much farther than I
Mhm.
expected. Anthony Richardson before the team with all of the Colts could get him.
Yeah, that was never going to happen for them, unfortunately. But even though Hollywood fell, like that's just kind of where we would have him,
Right.
and he just kind of that's the surprising one actually.
Damn.
And they needed that because they went double hero, and then Tank Dell was their wide receiver one, so they needed a strong three, and they got one.
Yeah, because Pickens isn't necessarily a strong two, even.
Yeah,
or he's strong.
He's a
one.
very volatile one that can have some highs and lows.
You're gonna need that safety valve of Keenan Allen there.
Yes, sir.
Let's see. What's this team gonna do?
They're gonna auto draft Calvin Ridley.
Is that who they auto drafted? Is that where we're at? Calvin Ridley's been moving up, so it's possible. Mark Andrews, CJ Stroud still on the board.
He'll be in around the 6th.
Dang, look at this grouping.
I mean, we're not really going to get a shot at any of those guys.
We get
at this point. We can't go tight end or running back, so we might have to double a receiver here.
That's okay.
So ideally, Hopkins and
Christian Watson.
Oh, actually, we have to take Dak here.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
So Dak and best receiver is what we are forcing ourselves into. And then ideally,
I'm not forced to do anything.
Okay. And then again, double tight end hero has never worked. So I can already check off 2 teams.
Stagger wants to know if we've watched Hard Knocks yet.
I have not yet. It's they're basically this is the first year that they're actually instead of just one.
Yeah, they're doing
a free agency one, a training camp one, and then in season is going to be the entire AFC North, which is pretty cool. I'm looking forward to that.
That's a great division. So
yeah, and on top of that, all of them at the end of the year are going to be playing each other. We've said before, Pittsburgh's all their division games are in the final
6 in a row.
Yeah, basically 6 in a row. So yeah, that'll be a fun one. Giants wise, it just wasn't something I was interested in immediately. Obviously, they didn't have a sexy offseason, and it's basically about what they lost.
Yeah. I was surprised by the, of course, Kyle Pitts goes before Mark Andrews, but then the same team goes with Mark Andrews. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. And then coming up on our friends here.
This is not
with the 2
really
quarterbacks.
Heavy running back range. Nobody's really reached on per se, or falling. That's kind of really where everybody's going, but just consecutively, it was interesting. Ladd McConkey to me is just. I hate saying this, but he's becoming my least favorite pick in the entire first 7 rounds.
Well, yeah, because he shouldn't be there.
He shouldn't be there,
and that's the part that annoys us.
I can't paint the picture of him. I can paint the picture of Keon late in the season, but you've got to have some depth there. I can't. I don't think he's going to be right out of the gate.
Oh, we're up.
CJ Stroud fell.
I don't have a reason.
Yeah,
but I have a reason for this guy.
No, we're gonna have to go hop and Dak.
Yeah. Let's get.
That's unfortunate though.
Yeah, I wish I would have gotten a share of like Stephon or Nico there.
Yeah, we would have had to reach for Stephon or have Nico fall, but it is what it is.
But that's okay.
We're
doing it the right way.
We've gotten exactly what we've wanted so far. Haven't really had to just make tough decisions. I mean, we wanted CD to start. You can tell us whether we're right or wrong on that, but based on the second team, I don't feel bad about that at all. The team that went CJ Stroud, that's their 3rd quarterback.
They're just doing it to piss everybody
No,
off now.
that's great.
'Cause
And we have our
We have a quarterback, yeah. So we have 0.
but
have
we might have to go a little
1,
earlier for our
2,
QB2.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7 teams without a quarterback.
Yeah, that's gonna be rough for them.
We're gonna have to
I
get
bet you Team 10 is
QB2
just
in
gonna
a
be like,
second.
you know what? I'll get my third tight end here.
Why not? This guy has no tight ends. Brett Fraud.
I know exactly what I want to do with my next turn, and I'm excited about it.
Okay. Well, I'm hoping it falls the way
It's
we hope.
two week 10 buys.
Mm.
Yeah.
Same team?
No.
Oh.
No.
Week 10. I think I know one of them. I don't know the other.
He's got a hyphen in his name.
What if that was the guy I was thinking of?
Oh, that was okay.
Yeah. What about the other guy?
He's the
Ooh.
he's the thumbnail for this video.
Oh, he is, isn't he? I know exactly.
Yeah.
BB.
Yeah, BB. ABB. Come on down. But yeah, I think that's a good range because he is actually starting to go earlier than what his ADP indicates. But since we're at the beginning of the 9th round, I doubt that he would go off the board that early. And then JSN has been consistently there at the 8-9 turn.
Right.
And he shouldn't be.
This guy took
okay.
JSN.
Listen, I'm not mad. That's where he should be going.
No tight end and no quarterback.
All right.
Again, the next guy, no tight end, no quarterback. There's so many quarterbackless teams right now.
Yeah, there's just about to be a run of the Burrows and Loves and.
Who do you want? Just kidding.
Shoot.
We could get one of them, honestly, and steal one. We don't need.
I don't know. I think we need some depth at receiver. So
yeah, we do.
Essentially, it's best 2, which I have an alternative to JSN as well in mind. But we definitely have to go receiver. And ideally, if we can get our second fun tight end, that would be awesome also.
Chess being played at the end there? By who? We played chess or someone else played chess? Oh, you mean at 11, 12. I see. I get you.
I'll beat that ass in chess. What's up?
Kyler going. Did they stack him?
There goes Brock Bowers.
No, they did not stack him.
And they had to go quarterback or tight end.
They reached.
He's just kind of going all over the place with his team. That was the same team that went with Tank Dell as wide receiver 1, and then George Pickens, and then Keenan and Rice, JSN.
So
it's a lot of love-hate with those receivers.
I'm about to have back-to-back tight endless teams. I'd expect Jake Ferguson to go.
And if he doesn't,
I know. I'm hoping. Yeah. I mean, I think he'll go here though.
No
I don't think. Yeah.
But at the same time, the 2 teams before us have already taken tight ends. Actually, 4 of the 5 teams next to us. So if he can pass Brett,
and then you got Hooks, who's doing all kinds of crazy stuff.
Yeah, Hooks is just out of it. So he doesn't need tight end. He's targeting somebody else.
He might do it because we took his. Yeah. he might pitch.
But I mean, there's a team with 0 running backs. Oh, that's the same team. Sorry.
Yeah.
But
that was not him.
All right,
Raheem.
But so I know Brendan asked earlier about Raheem Mostert. I'm not saying that Mostert's a fade. Once he's going into the 8th round, I completely understand it because at this point, a lot of these guys are the same people: James Conner, DeAndre Swift, Zach Moss, Mostert, very high-low guys, but you can paint pictures for all of them having steady seasons.
Laporta and Ferg on the same team.
Yeah, I mean, I guess Burrow's still there.
So is Njoku.
All right. So my first thought was Curtis Samuel here. That would give us a second bill, but I'm completely fine with it. And then what would you suggest
Cortland's? Well, I like Njoku getting our tight ends room set. And then I was actually thinking we could go Cortland Sutton or.
You'd rather have Cortland over Curtis Samuel?
I think I would. With the fact that we don't have Josh Allen. I mean, we don't have Josh Allen.
And I'd rather have 2 of Buffalo than
1 of Denver.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Especially because we're going to have another Denver player later.
Are we though?
Yeah, maybe.
Okay. I did it. Sorry.
All right.
Haha.
Who gave you the laptop?
I got to actually pick both of those.
It's fine.
Just kidding. But we needed receiver depth.
Fine. We did need receiver depth.
Hey, look at that though.
I completely agree with you.
Look at that though.
Yeah.
The Curtis Samuel,
Uh-huh.
Keon Coleman,
Yeah.
stack.
Interesting.
We could have, if it was us, we would have had Curtin Samuel because we would have also had Josh Allen.
I mean, listen.
That would have been perfect. Then we would have had Josh Allen, Dalton Kincaid, and Curtis Samuel. I would have been very happy about that. Or-
Stags also says Sutton over Samuel. That's a fun kind of 1v1 that you could find a wager for some way, shape, or form.
yeah,
We
Dustin,
need Griffin in the chat so he can bet some shots because he owes us over like 100 drinks right now.
he does. Too many.
Yeah.
So Dustin says, how much of the draft strategy is picking the best player versus blocking others from making stacks? Like you did the Kincaid when the other person drafted down. We were going to pick Kincaid anyways. So that was the thing. If he got to us, we were picking him. We just knew that
For sure.
whoever got Allen was going to be annoyed that we were going to pick Kincaid, if that makes sense.
I'm never drafting to sabotage
Well, I think this
or
Now-
avoiding. The only thing I ever look at when I'm looking at other teams, I'm not picking somebody so they can't have him. I'm seeing who I can pick because they're picking somebody else.
right. Like if
Um,
we had the say 10 spot, we would look at the fact that say neither of these 11 or 12 teams had tight ends. Well, then we would pick the tight end before the other guy because we knew he probably wouldn't get back to us. More so
Right.
than actually strategizing to take people because it's going to piss people off. Sarcasm in quotes or in parentheses. Tyler Lockett, honestly, that was pretty good. Not very many receivers.
hmm Yeah, so gonna be interesting what we do with this next set of picks is kind of wide open, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we if we still wanted to wait again, we not forced, but we kind of went with the direction of a double stack earlier. We went to big running backs early. I wouldn't say big, but two
Right.
potential RB1s early. So we probably don't need to double here, but it's probably ideal to at least go one. And we have a couple names that we keep clicking on that are going to fall
Yeah,
likely to
be in
us.
that range for sure. This guy just got five
straight running
five
backs.
straight running backs. All right. No
Yep.
quarterback.
Yep.
All right.
That's the third team.
Some strategies are just different, right?
Mhm.
I mean, there's a reason we create. So in our best ball intro, we'll have multiple strategies for y'all to look at, but like we create a strategy guide to follow because that's what's worked in the past. And most of those picks happen in the first 10. So your first 10 rounds are kind of like you pick a strategy that's working, you adapt to whatever draft you're in, and then you pick that strategy and then you run with it. And by the 10th round, you're most likely then going and building your lineup accordingly to how that strategy went. Zero tight ends is probably damn it. Hooks. Damn it. That guy. Zero tight ends is probably not a good strategy in the 10th round.
Alrighty.
There's a different guy. There's a different guy. Don't you do it. Marco. Don't do it, Marco. He did it. Damn it.
That's fine. I at least want to go Zeke because of
that's what I
the
was thinking.
correlation. And then this is a really kind of awkward range.
I would say
we haven't gone tight end 2 yet.
Yeah.
So maybe
yes, we have. We went Njoku.
Oh yeah.
I was thinking going Herbert, but the problem is 24 picks from now, I'm not going to get a stack.
No, I wouldn't go Herbert. I would go with. Honestly, I think it's probably double running back is the best thing because we don't really have any other options to stack.
So Chase.
Yeah.
Let's see what wide receivers looking like. Just gross.
Yeah, it's just this is a gross range, and that's why so many running backs go in the 9th to 11th rounds.
Some quarterbacks we'll get to later.
I like all of those quarterbacks, but just we don't have any of the stacks, and then we know Baker's gonna probably fall unless we see some kind of craziness that we saw this last draft.
Let's just hope for that not to happen. But Baker would probably be the next round for us. So
definitely.
Let me just star him so I don't forget. But let's see. Rico, why Rico? Do you think we should stack? I bet you. I'm not against the idea of stacking, like we've talked about before, stacking Zeke and Rico, but right now their ADPs are a little bit stretched, and also like the important touches are going to be Zeke. So we like attacking Zeke. Um, with arms wide open. Dad life still stuck in the 80s with the logic. Not sure. Not sure.
I mean, look at his team. Let's see. It's the ninth pick, the Garrett Wilson team. 2, 3.
Yikes. And then
I mean,
let's see what he does next.
he's he's just being unorthodox. Like going zero RB is completely fine, but that doesn't mean you go 5 straight picks of running back because
and no quarterback.
now he's going to be really weak at quarterback, and I don't know who he can stack or do anything with that team.
So I have a question for you. I looked at this like 9-1. Our team here, these
Yes.
three versus these three. Who do you like more? Like, of course, it depends on the team, but just like looking at
Team
like,
2.
right, I do
Yes.
too. I think that this stack is nice. Brian Robinson's nice.
And on top of that, he can get Quentin Johnston on the other end.
Yeah. I thought, yeah, I just thought that
If
looking
he
at that,
steals
it was
Kamani
nice.
from us, I'm gonna be upset.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
We
yeah.
probably have to go Kamani.
I think we
the
have
next
to,
pick.
yeah.
And then we might be able to wait on running back for a good while.
Yeah, I don't think we would need maybe one more.
Yeah, maybe one more, but then have a 2 quarterback, 2 tight end, and then just like
We might have to do 3
8 plus receiver build.
quarterbacks.
Maybe.
Maybe. Depends who we get. But yeah, so I completely agree though. 8 to 9 receiver build. Tua goes all these we're kind of in that the deep quarterback range too. Really let's see. Jerry Judy. Could see a resurgence of Jerry Judy in, in Cleveland, resurgence from college more so than actually the pros because he has not been that great. But he has actually
His
some
ADP's kind of baked into it.
yeah, but he also has some like really nice stats, like next gen stats of his separation ability and stuff. Let's just say if you're a Jerry Judy fan, paint the narrative that Denver just sucks and they couldn't get him the ball, and you can probably feel good enough about that to take him in the 12th round. Donnie Mitchell. Let's see. This team has no quarterback, so what are they going to do? Come on, Dad Life.
Oh.
Let's see it. Oh, I see. The chat delay is 5 seconds, so there shouldn't be a lot of chat delay. I set it for that. Just saying. He went running back.
Yeah, I don't know. There's at least 4 teams that we can knock out.
Yeah. The last draft, I don't know how many teams we felt comfortable.
If we don't make the playoffs with that team, I don't know what to think. Unless it was just straight up injuries.
Right.
Because
unfortunate injuries and
I don't
stuff.
know.
I mean, this team still has Nat D has no tight ends still. So that's always good.
Interesting.
There goes Rico.
Rico.
Uh-oh. I don't like that run. It scares me.
No. Well, Marco has been drafting like a normal person. So
Polo. I see.
it hit. There you go.
Chat delayed like 6 picks, I see. That's funny. Dusty ankle breaker.
Good times.
Tie. Let's
All
see.
So
get a winky face. All right, I think we have to go Baker.
Baker and Kamani?
Yeah, probably.
Or Quentin and Kamani. No, we have to go second quarterback.
Yeah, Baker's our second because we have Rashad and Mike Evans. J.K. Dobbins. We'll take his.
Tiger, you are so right. It is tough to see Chubb falling this far.
Oh, it hurts. It hurts so bad, man.
But again, at this point, if you want to draft him in the 140s, like I'm not going to stop you. My problem is like redraft leagues. He's in the 90s right now, so that's a 7th, 8th round pick. Can't justify that whatsoever.
Yeah, I agree. Though it's really sad to see Chubb go down. I mean, what week are we expecting him to play? Is the real question. Because
I
like
couldn't even tell
the
you.
answer is a
Just
lot
because it
longer than we
was,
want.
yeah, it was an early season injury, but it was just so much worse than a normal knee injury that you see. And this is his second one, I believe, on the same leg. Because
I think so. Yeah.
his unfortunate college one where he basically gets turned around and hyperextends in a similar fashion. I'm pretty sure that was also his right leg.
Yeah, I've only seen one injury worse, and it was what's his name? The number one running
Marshawn
back,
Lattimore.
Marshawn Lattimore. Yeah, that was the worst knee injury I've ever seen. But
Yeah, and he was a first round projected pick,
yeah, he was.
or running back one.
Yeah,
in his
RB1
class.
in his class. Pretty solid.
And that was at the time when you would see running backs going in the top 15.
Right. I mean, some of the best running backs that play today were a top 15 picks. It's just the longevity of them kind of is just not there. Todd Gurley. Todd Gurley was what, 2016 draft?
No, he was 2015.
2015 draft. Okay. Well, I was trying to say is he's not.
I said that like, no, you're so wrong.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
You're like 4.
It's 1 year.
Yeah, but like he was in the league for what 6 years and 7 years, and basically during that time he was MVP. And
Offensive player of the
sorry, one of the best players in football, and also had a terrible year, got injured twice, out of the league, just like that. And that's just what running backs are. CMC is one of the guys that you're like, wow. Like you just look at his longevity, and he's been injured, but he can just keep coming back.
And all of his injuries have been minor. Like I don't consider ankle sprains any significance whatsoever. Hamstrings, unless you have multiple, it's not past just the singular season that you suffer it. Like it's not that big of a deal for a long term injury, unless you have like a dropped hamstring, like what's his name, who's like Christian Watson.
Christian
was like
Watson.
my hamstring was like
20% difference
20%
in size
difference.
is crazy. And then Steiger. I mean Dustin. Marshawn Lattimore was a lot of fun to watch.
No, Marshawn's the corner. Marcus Lattimore.
You said Marshawn
earlier,
and that's what messed me up.
I know.
Okay, cool.
I apologize.
No, you're good. And then Steiger said, as of 16 hours ago via ESPN, Chubb said there's no timeline on his return, which is bad, very bad.
Yeah. When you don't hear any optimism, because a lot of people, it's like, over the top, like optimism at this point in the year. Oh, he'll be ready by whenever.
Yeah.
Like there's no concern.
TJ Hawkinson is.
Yeah. Like he's just like, oh yeah, he could be ready. No. And he won't be, but you can see through the tea leaves. But when Nick Chubb, you're already hearing, there's no timetable.
Yeah.
He'll be ready when he's ready. Those aren't optimistic things. Like you're going to get any production from him. And then again, Jerome Ford, when he went down, was a high-end RB2. So that's why we're really starting to load up on Jerome Ford, especially when we have to go 0 or hero RB, because really first 6-ish weeks of the season is when you need to rely on, makeup for those positions. And, that's the kind of guy that you're going to get it early on. And it may not be a long-term investment, but that'll flip with like a Trey Benson who you see or expect later in the year.
We need to go wide receiver, and this is what we're looking at. Grossness.
All the rookies.
Yeah.
So this is why I didn't want to go Cortland Sutton, because I wanted
Bo Nix.
Oh, no,
we have no time. So
yeah, we have no time. Not Ricky Pierce. Also, go with Douglas or somebody else, please. Anybody but him. Anybody but him. Okay.
That was gross.
Yeah.
We're up again to do this again.
Shit. Do we have to go receiver again? What else? What's the best available?
It was Pearsall, Deshaun, Keaton.
Well, we don't need 3 tight ends. We need 3 quarterbacks though.
Okay, Deshaun.
Okay, sure.
Okay, I think that
I feel yucky with that.
Well, yeah, but there's
okay.
nothing here, man. Mm-hmm. This is such a bad, gross range, and I'm just not.
I just didn't expect many of those receivers to go off, and I don't want to have to force them. I already know that Jalen Tolbert is a target for us,
Right, right.
probably on the next turnaround.
I mean, let's just look at. I mean, there was receivers all through this. You know,
Yeah,
even guys that we didn't want went before. Kate Otten. Well, we didn't need 3 tight ends, you're right, but we have the Baker stack, is why I was thinking possibly going Kate Otten, but it didn't really matter that much because we have Kincaid. Roman, number 2 in an offense that's going to run the ball 50 times a game.
yeah.
So get used to him blocking or not blocking and not playing because of it. It's the other problem with George Pickens for me. That Gurley stat about touchdowns is crazy. Yes, he has a top 5 amount of touchdowns since 2016, and he's been out of the league for
About 4 years.
4 years. Wow.
I think since 2020.
That was 3 years, 2 or 3, but I might be completely wrong. He's been out for a while. I get my years all mixed up.
No, because 2018 was the Super Bowl year,
Right.
and then the next year was his last year with the Rams, and
Yes.
then 2020 was with Atlanta, and I think he was there just 1 year. Come on, nerdy self.
I know, right?
Correct.
No.
Yeah, 2020.
Okay.
Yeah, he was out of the league
Which
at
is
26
crazy.
years old.
Very, very crazy stat. Yes.
And again, I brought this, or I haven't brought this up early, but Jonathan Brooks' concerns with his ACL because it was in November. He basically had an identical timeline of injury to Todd Gurley when his happened, and Todd Gurley was still a first round pick.
Right.
But regardless, he missed the first 3 games of the year, and then went for, what is that, 1,300 yards and 10 touchdowns. And I believe that was enough to be RB high end RB2.
Right.
But again, there's such a track record of rookie running backs finishing as high end talent, and that's why we are fine investing in Jonathan Brooks in the 8th round as a RB3.
We're gonna have to go wide receiver and running back. We have a strong running back room, but we're gonna have to pound wide receiver. Maybe one more running back.
Khalil Herbert.
We have some time. We have 5 picks. I actually
Khalil and Jalen
Tolbert.
Mm-hmm. I've actually seen him fall like into the 19th, but because that would be the end of the 19th, and we're really prioritizing because of the double. I think we should just go ahead and take him now if we are going to.
Okay.
The end of the 18th, but still.
Where is he?
I digress. He's like around
216.
Well, we can maybe wait.
I think we can wait.
Okay.
Let's try to wait and get
Jalen McMillan, another guy that you brought up before.
Tyler Boyd. DJ Shark could be the number 1.
Steiger Malachi Corley was he's kind of a scat receiver. He was drafted in the 3rd round by the Jets.
Tell me you haven't watched our videos without telling me you haven't watched our videos.
We actually talked a lot about him in the but there were also so many receivers, so it's kind of hard. It's not like we're giving quizzes.
I'm just giving a mess. He knows it. Roshan over Damian Pierce.
I mean, did you go Khalil?
No, he was gone.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
But yeah, so Malachi Corley, essentially scat receiver, actually had 11 touchdowns back-to-back years. In college, he went to Western Kentucky, so he's kind of a older, small school receiver.
So he started as a running back when he got to Western Kentucky, and then he moved to slot receiver. 65-70% of his passes were caught within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage, but he had the highest differential of where he caught the ball and where he fell. It was like 7.5 yards, something ridiculous that I remember. But yeah, so he was a guy that, we thought has the opportunity to get like end arounds, rushing yards, and then he's not probably going to be featured in the passing game, but he could be a guy that gets 4 to 5 targets.
He could be by default just because we have absolutely zero faith in Mike Williams coming off
his injury. Yeah, and no tight end, no tight end love from Aaron Rodgers. So
yeah, and then I know Alan Lazard is still there for now.
Mm-hmm.
so he'll get some by default. He's not bad. He's just kind of jumbled in that range of rookies where it's, the Jalen Polks, Troy Franklin's, Luke McCaffrey's of the world. It's like Roman Wilson, take your pick. I mean, I don't feel strong about any of them, but you can just paint the picture. Luke McCaffrey, there was a story of like, oh, he had some great 6 straight quarterbacks, real quick. That was crazy. But yeah, Luke McCaffrey had some rapport with Jaden Daniels. Okay, Curtis Samuel's gone. He could step right into being a, 70 target a game guy.
Right.
But who knows? I mean, Roman Wilson, low volume offense. Ricky Pearsall has zero floor whatsoever. If Ayuk and Debo are there, and if one of them leave or go down, okay, he's like Juwan Jennings, where he has 3 catches on 3 targets for a touchdown.
Right.
That's his. Like, I just don't see. He's more of a highlight reel than anything.
What are we doing with these late round quarterbacks? It's the last 2 drafts. Just a run. Hopefully we don't see like how many. I wonder how many quarterbacks each team has actually.
At least on this one, we already have our 3, so we are done.
Right.
Addressing
Actually,
that.
everybody only has the most everybody has is 3, so that's at least normalized. This is a much more normal draft than the other one. It's not as
But basically,
crazy.
most of those 6 went just in a row. Like, I don't know if Drake May is going to have significant impact, let alone start half the year. JJ McCarthy won't.
Right.
And then Derek Carr, low volume, low upside. Russell Wilson has upside if you don't believe in Jalen.
And
I'm sorry, Justin Fields.
But they're both in this
But they're both
draft
going
right there.
in. They both went 2 rounds early.
Yeah.
So,
and then Bo Nix, I mean, he should start if you
like,
believe in upside for a Sean Payton offense.
I'm never against double stacking a quarterback if you believe in the situation, but not necessarily who. Like, I'm drafting a ton of Seattle, right? But I don't have confidence Geno is going to keep the job the whole year. But if Sam Howell comes in instead of him, I see next to no drop off in terms of production for those receivers.
I actually feel like
so
it feels
getting
better
both of them
because
is fine.
I think Sam Howell actually has higher upside of
He does.
yards and touchdowns. He also has a much higher upside of interceptions, but that's okay. We love those.
But
we love.
I'm just talking situations like the last draft where we really kind of got sniped on our second quarterback, so we had to. Our second and third quarterbacks are uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Like double stacking those guys, Russell Wilson and Justin Fields together, like Drake May and Jacoby Brissett, Sam Darnold and JJ.
Right.
Like if you're going those directions, like you can paint pictures, and like if Sam Darnold comes out and JJ comes in, I don't think that Justin Jefferson's going to go down, and that's really probably the only guy that you're truly stacking with those quarterbacks, etc. So
I think people are trying to get the Addison love out there, but
I mean his ADP's dropped a little bit, so he's kind of right where we have him.
He had a good rookie year with both at times no TJ and no JJ, and then also a much better quarterback until he went out, and then you had the slur of terrible quarterback play. I mean, the Raiders.
Aiden O'Connell and Gardner's another idea of that same.
But this is so early for them.
No, I know. Like I'm just painting the picture.
No, for sure. I just mean like it feels
because again,
really early. So we're gonna get
a pick. So
that
Tolbert
guy.
And
let's go look at
our roster. Madison still on the board. Estimate.
We have a deep off running back room compared to.
So you think we're fine with the ones we got, and just 2 receivers?
Yeah, we can go Jalen Hyatt because we're gonna go Tolbert, Hyatt.
Yeah, that's fine.
Tight end we don't need. Javon Baker, I haven't got a single thing of. Claypool, no, it's too early.
Odell, he's finally in a range where I'm okay with.
Right.
If you wanted to as a wide receiver 8.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not against that. Let's star him at least. And then my other one would be Jalen Hyatt. I mean, we have a ton of Jalen Hyatt, but
yeah, we have a ton of him, ton of Moore, ton of Tolbert. So I know we say to take stands, but when a stand is considered over 30%, and when you got like 50% of a guy, it's probably like, okay, we can afford a couple of sprinkles on other guys. So like that's
Audric, we have a ton of.
Like I think the only Odell lines I have are the ones we've done on either stream or in an episode. And it's not the worst thing.
Yeah, this is the rugby player we had talked about earlier. He had some viral videos, so he'll probably move up. I don't know what that means because
Imagine if he just becomes the next Peyton Hillis.
why not? He's not
That'd
that
be
big.
fun.
He's not that big, I don't think.
I know.
But
Just
that'd be pretty cool.
it'd be fun.
I mean, I don't even know what position they're trying to do, what they're trying to do with him, but
I mean, he's eligible to be a running back.
yeah, at least on here. I think he probably plays their H back more so than anything. He might like play what Noah Gray does with when they're both on the
Six.
field. I mean,
Why do they consider a 6'3", less than 200-pound guy a running back?
yes, because they picked him to do that. I guess I don't know who is Jay Naylor. Does anybody?
Well,
Is Nick in the chat? Nick.
No, he's in Minnesota right now.
Oh,
So
okay, good. Yeah, Nick, who or anybody, help me out.
Jalen Naylor.
He
Alright.
he was in the game against us. He actually caught the ball and he went
40% of the time.
13 yards in that game.
Yeah.
A lot of zeros, a lot more zeros. Okay, he had
Okay.
He had 3 total catches last year, guys. Is he?
I mean,
stepping in for KJ Osborne.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes people are just trying to force narratives and stuff. Like I saw like one of the things with Dallas, Jalen Brooks could be vying for the wide receiver 3 role. It's like he's never had more than 500 yards in the season in college. In 3 years, he had less than 800 yards.
Right.
Like, and less than he's had 3 total touchdowns. So you're telling me he's going to all of a sudden be a target hog next to no.
Let's force that narrative onto the Lad McConkeys also though. There's a narrative there that they're pushing. Of course, that's at a different size, but like even that, we're talking about him going in the 7th round. Like that's way too early because he's
Penix and Cousins, another example of guys that if
right.
Kirk isn't healthy and you drafted Kyle Pitts and even Drake London or Bijan, like I don't think any of them go down because Michael Penix comes in instead of Kirk.
So we have the last pick of this draft. This draft has been a lot more chill than the other one. Makes a lot more sense. People are going where I expect them to. That guy actually did a very odd stack that I haven't seen between Drake May, Javon Baker, and KJ Osborne. Thought that was interesting. I don't know who Naylor is. I can't believe Naylor was picked in the 19th round instead of the 20th round either.
I don't know. But yeah, we saw Greg Dortch sighting. He's been, he was I don't know if he was considered a league winner, but if you picked him in the 20th round in 2022, you were happy with his couple of games where he had 20 plus fantasy points.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Who's Means?
Bob Means?
Bob Means.
He's a rookie out of, oh man, I should know this.
You should.
Bub Means. I knew that too. Ah, gosh. Why do I want to say Oklahoma, but that's wrong. I don't know. Top of my head.
Gerard Means.
Bub. And Alexander Madison. Audric Estime.
Sure.
Which one?
I thought you said we were good on running back.
We are, but it's the last pick. And, well, which wide receiver would you like?
I'm just saying dart throws, Kevontae Turpin.
Triple stack?
Makes sense. But if you don't have any faith in that, then I'm fine going with either of those running backs.
Okay. Not Brendan Rice, guys. We're not doing that. I'll
No,
probably go Audric because I actually have less on my DraftKings than you do.
Mm-hmm.
All of my DraftKings picks are the ones we've done on stream. So y'all have basically seen mostly all of them, but yeah. Anything that we've actually showed is in here. There might be 2 or 3 teams that are drafted by me, and then Underdog's a little bit different. There's more of those. But yeah, so let's check out the team. So we got CD, Kyron, Mike Evans. The number 1 pick is the hardest by far. So I actually really like this team. Dalton Kincaid getting our strong tight end 1. Rashad White, two running backs at that point. We could wait a little bit. DeAndre Hopkins, Dak Prescott to double stack is what we did. Triple stack, actually, basically, with Zeke, CD, and Jalen. Why am I tripping? Jalen Tolbert.
Yeah.
And then David Njoku, second tight end. Cortland Sutton, got a couple running backs. Chase Brown. And then, of course, we have to get Kamani Vidal on the 13th. Why not? Baker Mayfield to stack with his Jalen McMillan and Rashad White. And I'll do triple stack again. Mike Evans, Demario Douglas, Deshaun Watson, Roshan, Roderick Estime.
Yeah,
So
I forgot that we triple stacked both with our first two quarterbacks,
yeah.
so that's cool. And I know we didn't correlate Deshaun at all, but he was because he fell to us.
Right.
And like Baker, fine with, but it's not like I'm extremely confident in him as a QB2.
Right. And that's why we got Deshaun.
Yeah. So I mean,
Makes sense.
Very, very solid. We know the rules pretty well. Got a little mix of best available. Like the first 8 rounds, we really didn't even have to make any kind of decision.
No, yeah,
it was
just fell to us, basically.
Yeah, maybe we would have preferred somebody else if they fell, but once we were on the board, we were on the same page until you went Cortland, and it is what it is.
Derailed things.
Derailed this chemistry we had going.
Yeah, we were doing really well until 9. So,
No,
but
it's a really good team.
No, yeah, I like it
for being our I think second $20 that we've done.
Yes, and also being at the number 1 spot is very difficult, like I keep saying. So getting that spot and then coming out with a team that actually is correlated and looks okay makes me feel a lot better.
Right.
But yeah, we really appreciate y'all coming and hanging out with us, and go hit that like button if you haven't yet. And then
yeah, we got some position rankings out. Those are doing pretty well so far. We just came out with our 1080 piece that we hate, strictly best ball right now. We'll have some loves and guys that we like but not getting enough of at the moment. Those videos already shot will be coming out later this week. Enjoy the holiday, man.
Yeah,
it's gonna be a long extended week. I'm probably gonna be really, really intoxicated.
Yeah, I took Friday off, so that's always fun, get both Thursday, Friday, and get this extended 4-day weekend.
We got some fun to do with some of you guys tomorrow. And but if not, we appreciate y'all. Can't thank you enough for your participation, support, all that good stuff. Continue doing that. We'll see y'all next week. And let us know if there's anything y'all want us to discuss, talk about. Mostly this has been best ball stuff, but I know not a ton of you have been heavily invested in that strategy or style of thing before. What are some videos that you might be interested in learning, listening, talking with about, as we have a dead time, because it's about 20 days until everybody's at training camp and we're just filling time and stuff. That's why we've kind of been a little stagnant. But yeah.
Also, next week we're going to do a $3 with everybody. So get in that for sure. It'll be the second draft of our live stream, and otherwise, go enjoy America, and we will see y'all next time.
God bless her.
Let's see if I can end it.